She is a go-getter. She's my hero. I mean, she doesn't let anything stop her or slow her down. She works hard for what she wants and is determined, and she's, I don't know, she's special, and she shows so many people that no matter what, there's always a way to do what you want to do. If there's a will, there's a way.
Hi, my name is Lexi Bingham. I'm a 13-year-old from Colburn, Colorado. I was born with muscular dystrophy, and I have always relied on a power chair to get around. I have been in 4-H for 6 years now, raising and showing boar goats. I went to my first ABTA show when I was 9 years old and fell in love with showing breeding stock. Come on, Phoenix! Phoenix! Come on! Come on!
So Lexi was born with a non-defined muscular dystrophy. She's always relied on either us carrying her places or her wheelchair. She's never been able to walk and never will. And then last year she ended up having to have her entire spine fused because she was waiting on a new wheelchair and was just really having to lean and turn out of that chair. And because of that, it caused her to have severe scoliosis, so much so that in the 9-hour surgery, she grew 6 inches in that time frame.
So we were having a conversation at dinner one night, and we were trying to decide like what was I gonna do in 4-H, and then Dad said, "What about goats?"
What do you want to do, Lexi? And I said, well, I think goats would be a good species for Lexi because I think they're a little easier to get around than sheep or hogs. I mean, it just, you know, they're a little more mellow than that. And that started an obsession that has continued on, and I don't think we'll ever leave this family. But the goats seem to be mellow enough that they adapt to Lexi fairly quickly. And really, we haven't had too many that were tough for her to handle. They've been a blessing because they work really well for her.
I'm sure he's regretting that now, seeing how I have 13 heads.
So we were contacted early summer by Lexi's wheelchair company. One of the guys had talked to somebody that's involved with CDH. I was on speakerphone, and Lexi's just in tears back in there as she's listening to the conversation on the phone of what's going on and the option or the opportunity that was there for her to join CDH and go on a hunt with you guys.
I was super excited. I've always wanted to go hunting since I can remember.
Our original plan was to hunt with Red Mountain Ranches. They had been gracious enough to offer their property up for Lexi, and we'd been seeing some really good deer up there. CDH had built a special ground line for Lexi and had spent a lot of time getting this all set up. And then about a week before our hunt, they started gathering cattle out of the high country, and it just totally shifted the habits of the deer in that area. And so those big bucks we were seeing weren't there anymore. They'd moved down lower and away from the pressure of the cattle coming in. So we started making phone calls to friends and local ranches and just people we knew around the area, asking if anybody had maybe seen some deer, had seen anything that Lexi could harvest, if they were willing to let her come hunt. So we were actually down at the cafe having dinner after we'd been out scouting, looking for bucks after everything had kind of got shifted in our plans. And I showed her that picture that you sent me, and she goes, "That's my buck." like, that's the one I want.
When I got to see the photo of the deer I got to hunt, I thought that he was a pretty hot deer, and he was awesome and just super massive and wide.
We knew then that we finally found a good place to go, and we had a lot of good options, but that was definitely the buck she wanted to go after.
We went and had lunch with everybody, and they brought us a brand new pair of Zeiss binoculars for Lexi, and she was thrilled to have as nice a glass as Dad had to look for deer. She was pretty excited about that.
Okay, let's go get Dad's help. Okay.
We had to set up a shooting rest just for Lexi so she could get up on her gun and shoot it, because we actually had to make a stationary bench that was the right elevation, cut it out so her wheelchair could fit up to her gun so she could get up and actually get on her gun. So it was quite a bit of work just to set up the base so she could get up there, and then we had to blind everything off and set up blinds so the camera people and Mandy and everybody else that was involved could kind of hide there, so the deer couldn't really see what was going on. It was a great setup for how it worked out. It worked really well, but it was a lot of work to make it so she could hunt.
One of the gentlemen that was along with us on Lexi's hunt, and who was gracious enough to help us out with a lot of things, was Tony Mazzarato. And I think we introduced you guys and talked about Kenzie's story, and we actually ended up giving Kenzie a hunt too before she turned 21, which was super special to be at least a little part of her hunt too. But we were very thankful to have Tony there and his help and everything that he did for Lexi in that process of getting ready for her hunt.
Can you look down through there and see if you're... So do you.
I'm quiet. Yes, I can see.
Yes, you can see. Okay.
This front leg's forward, so where do you go?
Right here.
Nope.
No.
You need to move back. See how his other leg is posted straight up and down?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look and see he's taking a step. You're going to want to be right there on the back edge of that leg. That leg that's extended all the way out and got the pressure on it.
Okay.
So straight down, be at the back of it, right?
So we were above some hay fields, and some of them were cut out. There were some areas that weren't cut out, so there was some tall grass that the deer could lay down and bed in. There was a little draw that run down kind of the west side of where we were hunting there with some cedar trees in it. And so you never knew where the deer were going to come from. They could come from any direction. There was a big draw to the east of us that the deer could come up out of. But luckily we were able to get up above everything to where we could sit there and glass, but you know, they could range anywhere from 1,500 yards to, 100 yards in front of us. So there was a wide range, and we were very lucky to have a gun that Lexi could shoot out to a fair distance. You want to kiss it goodbye?
Goodbye forever.
Once it goes down that barrel, probably not going to see it again unless it gets stuck in your deer.
Awesome.
Nice.
Safety on.
Yep, I put the safety on. Back of safety. Look out there over top of the rifle. I see a couple more that just stood up in that far ditch line.
Oh, yeah.
So we're here with Lexi and we're looking for mule deer on her first hunt with Colorado tree lines. We come around the corner where we can't see him. Next thing you know, they'll be jumping the fence and coming out here. Get prepared. Some deer come out, and they were probably come out at a 1,000 yards, and we're like, well, they're gonna have to get a little closer. And they started moving towards us, and the sun was still up, and of course, deer that time of day, they'll get up, they'll move a little bit, and then they'll bed back down. So they get up, they move towards us a little ways, bed back down, and we're talking through it.
Deer that just come out. One of them looks like a pretty decent buck.
Okay.
Out there, a little ways, yeah. You're gonna have to cover some distance to get over this traction.
Yeah.
They must have been bedded over the edge of the hill there in the cedars and just come this way.
Yeah.
Well, if they come up, they should keep coming. I said, we really need to get them to that third ditch to where they're gonna be in shooting range. Those deer finally got up, started moving towards us. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna work out. This is gonna work out. And just before they get to the third ditch where I feel real comfortable with Lexi shooting, they stop, they turn, they look, they walk over to the fence, jump the fence. We got a little bit of time, and they're kind of moving across there slow, and I keep trying to get Lexi on the deer, and deer just keeps taking a few steps. And we keep working on it, and eventually these deer just are done. Couldn't get on them, couldn't stay on them, and Lexi was so disappointed because they were getting so close to the point where I was comfortable with their shooting.
So the first day, the deer were just being buttheads. Second day, the big white buck was up and walking around.
So luckily on day 2, the deer did get up and start moving around a little earlier, which was great because the night before they had got up, a few of them moved around and then bedded back down. But a lot of these deer got up and they continued to feed and kept moving, and they kept kind of working little by little in our direction. And a few of them would lay down, some others would get up, but we had a lot more opportunity to see a lot more deer the second night. And like I said, when they did get up and they started moving around, it was, they were working in our directions.
You see him?
Second day we were out there, we had some gentlemen with us, and Barrett had a different phone that worked well with one of the phone scopes. And once we got that on and Lexi could see the deer, and see her crosshairs, at that point I can see, what is going on, what deer are around. I can help her make a better judgment call on whether it's time to get down and squeeze the trigger or if we need to wait a little bit longer.
This time we had a phone scope on the gun because that way Dad could see the deer and make sure her eye was clear. Double check.
The two back ones are really good bucks.
Yep, the one that, okay, that one right there.
The one in the middle is the heavy buck, and the one in the back is the wide buck.
I'm straight on him. He was just in the way.
Is he clear?
Got him. Good job.
you.
You thumped him. Thank you. That was awesome.
That was just
That was so fun to watch.
that
And he's the big one.
part.
Yeah, he picks his head up and goes
Can I
like that.
get my-
This is huge.
Yeah.
Other
Oh, yeah. I saw. Congrats, Dad. Lexi, you did a great job.
I think it was Roy that had asked Lexi if she was addicted to hunting and if she'd rather show her animal.
Is that more fun than showing an animal?
No.
That's debatable.
Somebody might like her goats.
Yeah.
Good job being so patient
Yeah.
and waiting for. They were all piled together in that group like that.
I think all of us adults are less patient than you.
Yeah.
Right?
You addicted to hunting now?
Hey, I was addicted to hunting when I was 3.
I know, babe.
Old enough to know what hunting was.
So the track chair, she's able to pretty much go anywhere in. And so she hopped in that to go down and get her buck, and she was able to go out across the corrugates in the field.
Can you roll up my sleeve on your dragon head?
Yep. We got up there and we knew he was wide and just a big frame buck, but once we got up to him, you're just like, that guy's huge. He's really special. It's bigger than anything I've ever gotten hunting.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you so much for this beautiful night, for this great family, and for this beautiful animal. Lexi just did a great job putting a great shot on this animal, Lord, and just want to give thanks to you for all you provide. Thank you for mule deer that we love to chase, and thanks for the relationships that are made out here in the beautiful outdoors. We're grateful, Lord. In your name, amen.
You might eat Mama's deer that's hanging in her bedroom. Oh, you little turd. You would be that way.
You like him? 30-inch bucks, if you see one a year around here, you're doing something. Sometimes it might be a year or two before you see a 30-inch deer. And sometimes we spend a lot of time at it and still don't see deer like that. There was no, we were trophy hunting deal. We just were blessed with an opportunity to take a deer that was way more than what we expected, you know. That was a trophy class deer where we were hunting just to harvest a deer, really, is all we were after. We're just really fortunate to get hooked up with Colored Dream Hunts because this is something Lexi's always wanted to do, and it's kind of a struggle. I work out of town a lot of times, so it's kind of a struggle for me to spend the time I need to set up everything to make opportunity for Lexi, which our goal always was, Lexi has always wanted to hunt since she was old enough to know what hunting was. She's been, I can't wait until I'm old enough, until I turn 12 years old and I'll be old enough to hunt so I can go hunt.
Colorado Dream Hunts really made it to where we knew those steps that we needed to do. It definitely worked, and we can use it in the future, and it made her dreams come true of being able to harvest her first animal.
CDH and the landowners for allowing me to hunt and all the amazing experiences.